It was Christmas Eve on the south side of Chicago. The cold pressed hard against the windows of the small rented house where Daniel Brooks lived. The street was unusually quiet, as if the entire block had decided to hide from the winter and from life's problems. Daniel was 43 years old and carried a tiredness that went far beyond his body. He worked at a distribution warehouse near the interstate, loading trucks for companies he would never see. Since his wife passed away, life had become a cycle of long shifts, unpaid bills, and doing his best to stay strong for his kids. Emily was 7 years old, quiet and observant. She noticed everything, even when she pretended not to. Tyler was 4, full of energy, still believing his dad could fix anything. That night, there was no Christmas dinner, just scrambled eggs, toast, and a little rice left in the pantry. Daniel sat with them at the small table and told them that Christmas was not about food or gifts, but about being together. After the kids fell asleep, Daniel lay down on the couch, staring at the ceiling. The wind rattled the windows harder. He closed his eyes, hoping for a few hours of rest. Then he heard it. A soft knock at the door. Not loud, not urgent, just tired. Daniel stayed still, listening. The knock came again, slow and hesitant. From the bedroom, Emily coughed in her sleep. Tyler turned and mumbled something. Daniel stood up, his bare feet touching the freezing floor, and walked to the door. He looked through the small window and felt his chest tighten. An elderly man stood outside, thin, white hair uncovered, wearing a coat far too light for the weather. Snow clung to his shoulders. His hands were shaking. Daniel hesitated. He thought about the risks, about misunderstandings, about how quickly things could go wrong. Across the street, a porch light turned off. Someone had seen. Someone chose silence. The old man swayed slightly, struggling to stay upright. Daniel unlocked the door just enough to speak. Cold air rushed in. "Sir, are you lost?" he asked quietly. The old man looked past him into the hallway as if searching for something familiar. "Is this Mark's house?" he asked, his voice weak. "I can't find it." The confusion in his eyes was clear. There was no threat there, only fear. Daniel took a deep breath and opened the door all the way. "Come inside. You're freezing out there." The old man stepped slowly in, touching the wall as if it might help him remember. Daniel closed the door and locked it behind him. Emily appeared in the hallway, hair messy, eyes half open. "Dad, who is that?" "Someone who needs help," Daniel said gently. "Go back to bed." The old man looked at her, his eyes filling with tears. "Sarah," he whispered. Daniel felt a chill that had nothing to do with the cold. He did not correct him. He guided the man to the couch and covered him with the only clean blanket in the house. "Henry, my name is," the man said after a moment. "Daniel," he replied. As Henry's shaking slowly eased, Daniel had no idea opening his door that night would change everything that was about to come. Daniel kept the lights low, the way he always did at night. Too much brightness made the house feel emptier than it already was. He went into the kitchen, filled a chipped mug with hot water, and dropped in the last tea bag he had. "Careful, it's hot," he said, handing it to the old man. Henry wrapped both hands around the mug as if the warmth might disappear. He took a small sip, winced, then tried again. His eyes moved slowly around the room, stopping on the family photos and the children's drawings taped to the wall. He seemed to be searching for pieces of a story he could no longer put together. Tyler walked in, dragging his blanket behind him. "Dad, who's he?" "A guest," Daniel answered softly, "just for tonight." Henry looked at the boy and smiled, unsure but gentle. "You got taller," he said quietly. "I missed so much." Daniel turned away before his face gave him away. He opened the refrigerator, almost empty. Still, he cracked 3 eggs, toasted the last slices of bread, and made something simple. The smell filled the house quickly. Emily sat at the table, swinging her legs. "Is Santa still coming?" she asked. Daniel forced a smile. "Santa's busy, but we're okay." They ate in silence. Henry's hands shook so badly that Daniel had to steady the plate. The old man ate fast, as if afraid the food would disappear if he stopped. When Henry finished, Daniel quietly slid his own plate toward him. "You're not eating?" Henry asked. "I ate earlier," Daniel lied. Outside, distant laughter drifted from another house. Someone was celebrating. Daniel washed the dishes slowly, listening to the water run. Later, Henry fell asleep on the couch, his breathing uneven but calm. Daniel sat on the floor with his back against the couch, alert to every sound. No sirens, no knocking. Just before dawn, Henry woke suddenly. "I need to go, they'll be worried." "Where to?" Daniel asked gently. Henry frowned, struggling. "A glass building near the trucks." Even exhausted, Daniel decided to take him. He bundled the kids into the car and drove through nearly empty streets as the sky began to lighten. When they reached a modern office building near the highway, Henry straightened. "This is it," he said, relief washing over his face. Before getting out, he gripped Daniel's sleeve tightly. "Thank you for not shutting the door." Daniel watched him walk toward the entrance, then turned back to the car. His phone buzzed, a message from his supervisor. "You're late. Get here now." Daniel sighed, started the engine, and headed toward work, unaware that the cost of that quiet kindness was about to be heavy. The warehouse felt colder than usual that morning. The air smelled of oil, dust, and metal. Forklifts moved constantly, their beeping echoing through the massive space. Holiday or not, the work never stopped. Daniel arrived late, shoulders stiff, legs aching. His supervisor, Brian Keller, was waiting near the loading dock. Clean jacket, polished boots, clipboard tucked under his arm. "You finally made it," Brian said flatly. Daniel didn't argue. He pulled on his gloves and went straight to work. That had always been his way. Brian pointed toward a stack of sealed boxes. "Those need to go out today." "Where to?" Daniel asked. "Off-site storage. I'll handle the paperwork." For hours, Daniel lifted, loaded, and secured the boxes by himself. Brian stayed close, watching, signing forms, offering no help. Cameras captured everything. Daniel never noticed. By the end of the shift, the boxes were gone. Daniel clocked out, exhausted but grateful for the overtime. 3 weeks later, everything changed. The gates closed early. Whispers spread across the floor. When Daniel walked in, conversation stopped. 2 men in suits were waiting near the office. "That's him," one of them said. They talked about missing inventory, about serious losses, about records that all carried Daniel's name. Daniel explained calmly. He said he followed instructions. He said Brian authorized the transfer. Brian denied it without hesitation, said Daniel worked alone that day, said he never gave those orders. Cow workers watched from a distance. No one spoke up. Daniel was suspended immediately. No pay, no timeline. At home, the silence grew heavier. The fridge stayed empty longer. Emily stopped asking for things. Tyler asked why his dad was always sad. When security came again, Daniel didn't resist. He stood straight, hands visible, voice steady. He told the truth the same way every time. Then came the final decision. The company owner wanted to see the accused in person. Daniel was escorted upstairs, past offices he had never entered. The door opened, the man behind the desk looked up and froze. Recognition hit instantly. The same eyes that searched his hallway on Christmas Eve now stared back at him. "It's you," the owner said quietly. The room fell silent. Daniel said nothing. He waited. The owner slowly stood up from behind his desk, never taking his eyes off Daniel. Memory settled into his expression. "Christmas Eve," he said quietly. "You opened your door when I didn't know where I was." The executives along the wall exchanged confused looks. The man took a deep breath before continuing. "That night, I wandered away from this building. I was disoriented, and this man gave me warmth when no one else would." He turned toward the others. "The dates don't add up. Pull the footage now." The screen came to life. Daniel loading boxes, Daniel sealing pallets, working non-stop. Then the image zoomed in. Brian stepped into frame, clipboard in hand, pointing and speaking. The audio sharpened. "Take those to off-site storage. I'll log it." A murmur moved through the room. The owner closed his eyes for a brief moment. "Call the police." Brian tried to speak, but the words failed him. Security took his arms and led him out. The confidence drained from his face. The owner sat down heavily and looked at Daniel. "I failed you," he said, "twice." Daniel shook his head. "I just did my job." "No," the man replied. "You did what was right when no one was watching." The charges were dropped. Daniel's name was cleared. Days later, a new contract was placed in front of him, a better position, a real salary, benefits that finally reached his children. Daniel didn't celebrate loudly. That night, he cooked a full meal and watched Emily and Tyler eat without counting bites. That was enough. Months passed. Daniel grew into his role with patience and care. The owner visited often, sometimes unannounced. Sometimes they talked. Sometimes silence said more. Henry received the care he needed. Some days he remembered everything. Some days he didn't. But he never forgot the door that stayed open. The next Christmas Eve, Daniel stood by his door a little longer than usual. No knocking came. He looked back at his children, warm and safe, and understood that kindness does not always protect you right away, but it always finds a way to tell the truth. If this story moved you, leave a comment, share what you felt, and follow the channel for more stories where quiet choices change lives.